Hi guys, welcome to RiciP-FC, and in this video I'm going to go through the top 5 forwards who I've picked for the K-League next season to hopefully win you guys some rewards. Let's get into the players. Okay guys, my first pick is a winger who plays for Jeju. It's Gerso Fernandez. Apologies if I don't pronounce any of these names correct. I am doing my best. Let me know in the comments if I'm fucking them up. I'd love to know personally myself. Yeah, Gerso Fernandez, a really cheap option coming in at limited, £6.33 or £115 at his rare. He usually plays on the left. Despite it saying centre striker there, he is predominantly a winger for Jeju. And as you can see from his scores, he's putting in really good scores. Even averages down here, 40s and 50s for your thresholds. Most importantly, he's putting in the decisives in the game weeks, as you can see there and there. There's 2 decisives there, 2 decisives there. He's a really good option and he's got some great stats. Let's go into it in more detail. So he's left-footed forward. He's 31 years old, which for a K-League player, that's still not particularly old. His strengths are high pressing and positioning. He's played 37 games and he started 34 games. He averages 74 minutes per game. His scoring frequency is 341 and his goals, he's scored 8 this season. He averages 1.7 shots per game, which is pretty good for a winger in my opinion. His goal conversion rate is 13%, which is a tad lower, but this is because he's whipping in a lot of crosses as well, so he's creating more chances. So if we have a look here, goals from inside the box, 8 goals inside the box. He's getting inside the box, he's taking people on, and he will get the scores on the matrix for entering their box as well, so don't forget that, and creating big chances. Out of his goals, 1 headed, 6 left-footed, 1 right-footed, and another good thing for your decisives, 3 penalties won. He is good at getting past people, dribbling, and creating a chance, so he is getting fouled quite a lot. He's got 7 assists this season, and he averages 31.5 touches per game, which isn't bad for a winger, to be honest. Big chances created, 9. He averages 78% passing per game. In his own half, you can see we're not really interested in that from someone who's a forward. Opposition half, 69%, which isn't amazing, but it's not the worst either. For crosses, Gerso also ranks first in the wingers for the K-League with 96 attempted. This is also 5th overall in the entire league. In my opinion, this has to result in more decisive actions next season. When you look at goal contributions, Gerso has 18 in total. Goal contributions is assists, goals and penalties won combined. Now, in terms of wingers in the K-League, Gerso ranks first among shots on target among the wingers with 30. In my opinion, this season of 2023 that's coming, I think this will translate to more goals, i.e. more decisive scores. In terms of dribbling, Gerso attempted 200 dribbles and he had a success rate of 60%. This put him 2nd among the wingers in the K-League and 8th overall. Again, this has to result in more decisive actions this season, in my opinion. Overall, at £6.33 for his limited, I think this is a steal and I am going to be picking a Gerso Fernandez up for next season. Let's move on to the next player. Our next player on the list is Cho Gui-sung, aka Mr. Sexy himself, who turned into a heartthrob overnight at this year's World Cup. Really good striker. Apart from him being a sexy bugger, he is a very good striker. As you can see from his scores, very high scores, consistent. He can even put in hundreds and he's putting in a lot of decisive scores. He's on the pricier side at £55 for his limited, £533 for his rare. Something to also consider is he is being linked with a lot of clubs in Europe. The biggest rumour from my research is that Celtic are really trying to pick Cho Guai-sung up. So if you pick him up for your K-League team and he goes to Celtic, you're on to a winner, because it's likely going to inflate his price if he does well in that team, and he will be a really good Challenger Europe forward for your team. Cho Guai-sung is a forward who plays for Jeonbuk Motors, who are a very dominant team in K-League 1. If we go into his stats in more detail, we can see that he's right-footed preferred, but he can score off of both and headers. He's quite well rounded. He's 24 years of age, so he's quite young, and he is a penalty taker, and his strengths are finishing and long shots. He's not afraid to take a shot outside the box, as you will see. Let's take that off of the World Cup and onto the K-League 1. 31 games played, 26 started, and his minutes per game averaged 79 minutes. He scored 17 goals, and his scoring frequency is 145, which is very, very low. He averages 3.3 shots per game, 1.5 on target, which is very high. If we look at his penalty conversion rate as the penalty taker, 100% penalty conversion with 7 in 7. That is very good for your decisives and for your overall scores in your team to win you these prizes. Goals from inside the box, 14. But he's also got 3 from outside the box in 36 attempts, which I think is pretty good. It's one of the highest out of the players in these picks. As you can see, right-footed goals 10, left-footed goals 5, which is high. It shows that he's actually both-footed in a way. He's won 2 penalties and he scored 2 headed goals. He's also got 5 assists, and big chances created are at 5. He makes an average of 1.2 key passes per game, and his passing overall accuracy is at 77%. It's also high for a striker at his long balls, which is 72%. His expected goal ratio is 10.24%. Cho Guai-sung is known for winning the ball high up the pitch with his pressing ability, and this usually results in a shot or attempt on goal within 20 seconds, which is an insane stat, and which is why he makes my picks for these forwards in the K-League. And it is understandable why all of the teams in Europe are looking at him for a transfer in January. This also makes sense when you look at his percentage of aerial duels won, which is at 49%. For someone as a striker, that is pretty good. Let's move on to the next player. Someone who I think is very, very clinical when you look at his stats, and he is a centre forward who is treated in the team more as a target man. That is Ju Min Kyu. Plays for Jeju United, and as you can see from his scores, he's another very good player when it comes to scoring decisives. If he doesn't get a decisive, his scores are on the lower side, but he is very good at getting decisive scores, as you can see here. Very, very clinical. Let's look into his stats in more detail. So, Ju Min Kyu's 32 years old, he's on the older side, and his limited price came in at around £25, which is more reasonable than Cho Guai-sung. His strengths are finishing and penalty taking. Now, he plays less games than Cho, as you can see. Plays 37, but he's only started 26, but he averages 71 minutes per game, which is still quite admirable. But this is what makes his scoring frequency so low at 154 minutes. Because he's in that time, he's scored 17 goals. 3 of these were penalties, and he scored 3 out of 4, giving him a penalty conversion rate of 75%, which is pretty good. Shots per game are at 2.8, which is one of the highest that I've seen. He's even averaging 1.1 on target per game, which is slightly lower than Cho Guai-sung. He scored 7 goals, 2 with his left foot, 8 with his right foot, and he's assisted 6 goals. He's created 9 big chances, and he averages 1.2 key passes per game. His passing accuracy overall is 73%. This leaves something to be desired in the opposition half, which is at 69%, which isn't terrible, but could be better. Again, if you look at his dribbling stats, these aren't great. 33% successful dribbles. This is because he is playing as a centre forward target man. He's not there to take people on, he's there to score goals. Overall, his goal contributions come in at 22. Remember, that's goals, assists and any penalties won. 22, which is very high for a season, and in terms of Sorare matrix scoring, it's going to come in with a lot of decisives for your team. Now, if you look at his duels won, 45% of his aerial duels, 43% of his ground duels, which again is pretty good. You're looking at around 50% of the time, which is what you expect from all of the crosses that are being chipped into him from Gerso Fernandez. In terms of fouling, he fouls a lot less than he gets fouled. He's not offside too much, and he doesn't lose possession that often, 7.8 per game, which is pretty good. Let's move on to the next player. My next pick is Lee Seung-woo, who plays for Suwon FC. Now, typically he plays on the left, but he can play on the right. He's also played as a cam in some games and can play as striker, so he's very versatile. His limited comes in at £17.50 and only £157 for his rare. In my opinion, this guy's getting slept on. Let me explain why. First, let's look at these stats. Still chipping in with good decisives. He has got quite a lot of green in my opinion, but there's some DMPs in, and if we go to his all-time, you will see quite a lot of DMPs. Now, this is a reason I think that his price is a little bit lower, and let me explain why. So if we go to his stats in more detail first, positioning, left wing, right wing it says on there, although I've explained cam and striker as well. 35 played, only 14 started, but he still averages 73 minutes per game. In that time, he scored 14 goals and has a scoring frequency of 183 minutes. His goal conversion rate is 21%, which is very, very good. Goals inside the box, 12 out of 40 attempts, and outside the box, 2 out of 27. So he's really clinical again. Right-footed goals 11, left-footed goals 2, headed goals 1, but he's also won 2 penalties overall. He's got 3 assists and he's averaging 37.3 touches per game, which is quite high compared to a lot of the other guys that I've picked in this series. His accurate passing per game is 78%, which again is quite high for someone playing in that position. One of the things that could let you down with this player is he gives away quite a few yellow cards and a red card. This is because he's coming back and defending, and he's quite an aggressive player. If we look here, was fouled 1.9 times, but he fouls 1.3 per game. For someone playing as a forward, that's quite high in terms of fouling, which means he's running back and defending. But this also means in terms of the scoring matrix that he's going to get you points for coming back and making tackles and getting possession, hopefully starting attacks as well. Lee Seung-woo's total goal contributions come in at 19. That's goals, assists and penalties won, which he won 2 of. Now, the reason that his price is so low in my opinion is he had some loan spells at Portimonense in Portugal and Troyden in the Juniper Pro League. But he had problems with injury and breaking into the starting lineup, so he didn't get to play many games. He's made a return to the K-League with Suwon FC. He's only 24 years of age and he has come in with a bang, as you can see, with all the goal contributions, scoring high. I think he's a really good option for £15 for your limited team, and I think he's going to have an even better season next season in the 2023 season. So he makes my top 5 picks for this series. Let's move on to the next player. Last player on my list is obviously Cicinho. How could I leave him out? He plays for Daegu, who are one of the most dominant teams in the league, and look at his green scores. Absolutely sickening. He is on the pricier side though, at £104 for his limited and £839 for his rare. But looking at his price history, his all-time high for his limited was in at an eye-watering £450. So with the market slump at the moment, this could be a real bargain for your future prizes. He plays as a striker, but he is absolutely made for the Sorare scoring matrix. He's one of the best scorers, just flat out, in all the leagues on the platform, and I will explain why. Let's look at his stats in more detail. He's played a total of 29, starting 26, and he averages 83 minutes per game, which is one of the highest out of all the players that I've picked in this series. He made the team of the week 16 times. One of the things that makes him a very good scorer with the Sorare matrix is his consistency and his conversion in terms of creating big chances and also not missing big chances. As it says here, strengths, consistency, playmaking and high pressing. What makes him so good? He's basically like a De Bruyne style player playing as a centre forward. He is a playmaker for the team, but he's scoring goals and he's classed as a forward on the platform, not a midfielder. He scored 12 goals and he's got a respectable scoring frequency of 200 minutes. His goal conversion rate is 13%, and as you can see, he only missed one big chance, which is insane considering the amount of goals and assists and stuff. His penalty conversion rate is also 2 out of 2, making it 100%, and he is their spot kick taker. And let me tell you something, he has got a wicked free kick. He is very good at free kicks. As you can see, long shot taking is one of his also strengths. 3 out of 68, which is pretty good to be honest. And his goals from inside the box, 9 in 27 attempts. He favours his right foot, but can also use his head. He's got 6 assists this last season. This is the thing that really makes his score so high, getting you the green scores. 56.6 touches per game. He's getting touches per game similar to really high level midfielders, but he's in the forward position. A bit of a cheap player on the platform, in my opinion. His passing accuracy is 78% per game. One of the other things is he's a very good dribbler, and he is dribbling forward, carrying the ball forward, taking people on, and then giving the ball away across the box to get people in to score goals. And this is why he's so good on the platform. Successful dribbles coming at 45%, and he has 1.1 per game. He also wins an average of 5 duels per game at 48%, which is again pretty good for a forward. Another thing that really puts his scores up, it all comes together for him in terms of the Sorare scoring matrix, is the amount that he's fouled. People in the league are scared of him. When he's bringing the ball forward, they foul him to stop an impending attack and to stop goals and assists. As you can see, fouls 0.8 per game on average, but he gets fouled a massive 2.5 per game. This, in regards to all the other things I've mentioned, really start bringing up his score bit by bit, so you get the huge all-round scores along with his ability to get decisives. In my opinion, he is the GOAT for the K-League forwards, and if you can afford him, I really would recommend picking up Cicinha. He's 32 at the moment, so he's still got a few years playing at this level, in my opinion. So guys, that's my top 5 forwards for next season 2023 in the K-League. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I've tried to pick players that are in different price ranges for different people. If you like the content, please like and subscribe and comment. Comment with any that you think I may have missed off. I'm really trying to get my subscribers up, so please subscribe if you can. I do appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you.